Massive Devils trade update. This changes everything. Markets have a way to have a big influence on teams' offseason plans. Devils will have to abide by it. Let's talk about it. Welcome to Devils Digest. Feel free to join us all summer long and hit the subscribe button to talk all things Devils. Now, it's getting to the offseason. Obviously, we got the Stanley Cup going on, but, you're starting to look, what are teams going to do? What do teams, the trajectory, and we'll start to see those things come out. Well, Frank Saravelli wasted no time on that. Dropped kind of a bomb last night. Sources say New York Rangers and Ducks are in advanced discussions on a deal that would send Chris Kreider to Orange County. Yeah, that's pretty big. Now, you might be kind of saying, why does this relate to the Devils? How does, the Rangers moving on from Chris Kreider, how does it, kind of impact the Devils? Well, you look at what is being rumored out there, what Anaheim would be giving up to get Chris Kreider, and it's kind of saying Carey Terrence, a prospect in Anaheim, and probably a pick. I've seen second and third, one of those kind of in that area. We'll definitely have to wait and see on that, as this trade has not been finalized. I guess more so speculation, but there's definitely words going back and forth. These type of things wouldn't come out during the Stanley Cup final at 10:10 p.m. on a Monday night. So there's some type of truth to this. Now, why is this impactful toward the Devils? Well, Anaheim's going to give up a prospect and a pick for Chris Kreider. A Chris Kreider who just easily had his worst season of his career. Scored 22 goals, 8 assists, 30 points, 68 games. Found himself in the press box multiple times. You'd think at Chris Kreider, 34, has had a couple injuries, has needed surgery. When you put those type of things together and you look at a bad year and a team is going to give up capital to go and get him, because right now it's being said that Anaheim's willing to take on the full salary for a 34-year-old who just had the worst year of his career. Injuries don't seem to be getting any better with Chris Kreider. So you're willing to, see a player who is at that age where he probably an imminent drop-off happens quick. It looks like it's happened. And you're going to go, okay, well, we're a young team. We're rebuilding. We're trying to get better. Let's just give him a prospect and a pick. Interesting. Now, you look at the Devils situation and where they are right now. This offseason, they should have right around $12 million in cap space to work with. There's a few things that they want to do. It was clear Tom Fitzgerald, at the end of the year, was not happy with 91 points. Said, depth scoring, I was still trying to figure out, it doesn't exist. Devils clearly not good enough up front in the top six. There's a ton of changes that they have to make. So that extra cap room would be important. You look at some of the players on the Devils roster, and there's two that I look to right away when you're thinking about, moving on and getting some cap space back, are Andre Palat and Dougie Hamilton. Now, Dougie Hamilton, since coming over here, a deal that at the time needed to be done, not so much anymore. You've drafted Luke Hughes and Simone Nemec inside the top 5 in the sense he's came here. You kind of have the replacement set up. Seamus Casey has looked better than his second-round pick. So you look at Dougie Hamilton, $9 million a year, has struggled to stay healthy. What is he going to be on the other side of 30 years old? Someone who comes to mind where, $9 million off the cap feels good and feels like he has a little bit more to offer than 34-year-old Chris Kreider. Another player, Andre Palat. You look at Palat. I think, again, a deal that had to get done at the time. Doesn't feel like that anymore. The team, the players, they're kind of developed inside of the top 6. Now, you need to go and add a player. I've mentioned before, Nikolai Ehlers. There's a couple other names out there, Jason Robertson. There's a few names out there, but they're going to need good contracts. They're going to need to get paid. They know it's their time to get paid. So when you look at that and you look at what the Devils can do this offseason, what needs they have to fill, you can get rid of that by moving off some of these players with contracts that don't fit in 2025. Maybe in 2021, 2022, it made sense. But we know that as time goes on, it doesn't make as much sense anymore. We keep, obviously when we're reading a book, it starts to make more sense to do something else. And at this point, it makes more sense to move off of these guys. We start thinking a little bit differently. I don't think we view Andre Palat as a, 50-point player anymore. He hasn't hit that since being a Devil. Dougie Hamilton, shot looked a little bit worse. He's hit 20 goals in the 4 years he's been here once. That's what you were kind of relying on. Doesn't seem to be there as much anymore. You have Luke Hughes as your number 1 power play defenseman. He's already overtaken that. And what does Luke Hughes need? A contract. And you got to put him long term because then, you clear up some of that cap space to go sign his brother or trade for his brother. So when I look at it, buyer's market is huge for the Devils who need to create cap space. Being able to have options. Like everyone loves options. Maybe the pizza place you went to didn't taste very good, but just a 2-minute drive away, there's another one. Probably feel a little bit happier about that. Gas station, one is $3.50 a gallon. One's a little bit less, just over $3. Where are you going? You have options. There are options here in a buyer's market. You can sell off some of these players who really don't fit when they sign that contract 3-4 years ago. It's not the same player that you're paying for. Now, does Tom Fitzgerald move off of one of these guys? No, it's not saying that he's definitely going to go ahead and move off, but you got to think. You see a report like that for a player who's older, been injured, had a career low, and you see what the type of value that you can get back from him, and you can just go ahead and say, take Palat or Hamilton, hold on to some of the money, but free up some type of cap space to do what you really want to do to get that Stanley Cup contending team. It's got to make you feel good. We'll see where this trade goes. We'll see if it happens. It could happen by the time I get off this video. It seems like it's something that is wanted, and a lot of people are reporting on it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, you're going to join us here all summer long and hit the subscribe button. We'll be talking more Devils hockey, and appreciate you guys all tuning in today. All right, let's have a good rest of our Tuesday. Have a good rest of your Tuesday, and I'll see you guys really soon.